Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Content to Play Villain. In this episode, I'll be discussing the villainous nature of the feared and respected character Alonzo Harris, a psychopathic, corrupt character from the film Training Day. This episode will be broken down into 4 parts. Firstly, who Alonzo Harris is. 2, the evil things that he did. 3, why he did those things. And 4, my opinion if the bad things he did were justified. I hope you enjoy this episode and make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get started. Denzel Washington's portrayal of a big-time city cop in the city of Los Angeles was fascinating and borderline sensational. The first 10 minutes of the film introduce us to a tall man that's confident, dominant, powerful, and might we say charming. He's either in his 30s or 40s, and he is a detective who is linked to the Russian mob, and who tries to corrupt rookie detective Jake Hoyt, the main character. Alonzo is characterized as a suave, shady, and quick-to-deceive person in the movie, often using his gift of the gab to manipulate people and cause intimidation, and he's not afraid to cause physical harm to get people to do what he's asked. He is blessed with survival instincts, fast-paced, charismatic wit, and formidable impulsive actions. But we begin to see there's something up with Alonzo when he physically threatens a man in the alleyway, shocking his junior partner Jake. From here on, Alonzo commits several suspicious acts that confirm he is the true villain in the movie. To understand how much of a villain Alonzo is in the movie is by looking no further than the dynamics between himself and his mentee Jake. Alonzo, being in a much superior position, uses his status, influence, and power to inflict misery upon Jake. One such example of this is when Alonzo and Jake are riding in the vehicle, and Alonzo tells Jake that a good narcotics agent should have narcotics in his blood. Passing an object filled with drugs for Jake to smoke, Jake resists, knowing what Alonzo is suggesting is dangerous and downright false, yet Alonzo persists, stopping the car to put a gun to the head of Jake and coming up with a story that he'll be dead if he turned this down in a real-world scenario. Alonzo then mentions he doesn't want to work with Jake anymore, calling him a rookie in the process. Jake, hoping to please his superior, ends up smoking the object. This scene showed how manipulative Alonzo was and him abusing his position of power to get what he wanted done. Later on, this was revealed to be a ploy to keep Jake in check during Alonzo's criminal runs, so that when Jake witnesses Alonzo doing something illegal, Alonzo reminds Jake that the LAPD does regular blood tests which would find the drug Jake smoked in Jake's blood. It would end his career. At this point, not only is Alonzo a sick villain, he is methodical and plans things ahead to cover this back. Another example of Alonzo's villainy is his connection to the criminal underworld in the Los Angeles scene. We find that he deals not only with drugs, but also has connections to local gangsters and Russian crime syndicates. Due to him being a cop, he is respected and feared by such figures as he has the power to ruin them if he wanted to. There is fear in the eyes of many of his associated criminal links, showing that Alonzo rules with fear and abuse of power. Multiple times in the film, we see how corrupt Alonzo is, from raiding a house to seize $4 million in drug money but keeping $1 million for himself, to killing someone and then staging the crime scene to make it look like self-defense. The peak villainy of Alonzo is when he takes Jake Hoyt to the house of one of his cronies, a gangster named Smiley, and leaves him there. Smiley tells Jake that the Russian mob will kill Alonzo for killing one of their men unless he pays them $1 million by midnight. Jake soon realizes that Alonzo has ordered Smiley to kill him. Just as Smiley is about to shoot Jake, his friend finds a young girl's wallet, and it is revealed to belong to Smiley's cousin. Smiley calls her, and she tells Smiley that Jake saved her. Smiley lets him go. Now, why was Alonzo content to play villain? In other words, why did Alonzo perform his acts of evil? There is a saying that a person's true character is shown when they obtain a position of power. Alonzo, being a cop, uses his power to manipulate, intimidate, deceive, and hurt people. He has little regard to what consequences might happen from his actions. He is motivated by greed, power, and will harm others to get his way. Why is Alonzo Harris such a corrupt soul? It stated that Alonzo was just like Jake when he was a rookie. So what happened during that time that made this Alonzo turn into such a power-abusing person? No one knows. Interestingly enough, since Alonzo Harris calls himself a great cop, why is he still living in one of the most violent neighborhoods in California? Is it the fact that he sees himself as the king of his community and knows that those people don't exactly have the power to fight back because of their status? It's a fascinating layer to Harris's character and one that keeps him compelling throughout. He can be charming, cruel, and even sympathetic at times. Were Alonzo's acts justified? Absolutely not. Someone whose job it is to protect and serve should never be corrupt and work with criminals. Alonzo was a psychopath that only ever cared about himself. He wasn't trying to help Jake advance his career. He was covering his own back and making Jake the fall guy. There are no excuse for his actions, but in the eyes of Alonzo, he loved what he was doing. He was the man in his community, feared, respected, and up until the end of the movie, untouchable, and because of this, that's why he was content to play villain.